Okay, this is Muju with the Paclock 90A. Get a shot of the keyway here. See nothing there. Got the key. That's right. Lock function's fine. Key sticks just a little bit going in sometimes. There, I was fine that way. There we go. All right. I'm going to be using a Peterson's pry bar with top of the keyway tension, and this is the 40. The 50 fits, but I have a harder time holding it in, it seems. So start with the 40, and I'm using a standard hook in 0.25. So starting from the front, little click out of 1, click out of 2, click out of 3, click out of 4, little click out of 5, click out of 6. There are a lot of serrated pins in this, I believe, just because there are so many clicks as you work down the stack. All right, back to 1. 1 feels set. It's not getting anything on 1. Oh, nope, never mind. Bit of a click on 1. Click on 2. 2 might feel set. 3, click out of 3. And we drop into a false set after doing that. Down to 4. Counter rotation on 4. 4 might be set, and we open the lock. So there we go. Made it through. Definitely some serrateds in there, but we're going to go ahead now and take this apart. So I'm going to make sure I keep this in frame. And forgive shaky cam here. I don't have a tripod. So we're going to come up on the table and set down there. I'm going to try to get this in the right spot here. All right, so there we are. Now we'll go ahead and kick the table. Nope, we're still good. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and take this apart. So now we've got opened. We just need to take out the Allen key here. And I know this is metric, but honestly, I forget which size. Sorry about that. But we'll go ahead and get this screw out. You can see we've already got that out. Put that up there. Keys, and the bottom of this will come out then. All right, then go ahead and just drop out the core. You can see that there. And I've got a tool. 2 seconds here. All right, and we have a clip on the back. I do not have a clip remover, but I found that this pair of needle nose pliers does a pretty good job. Most of the time. And there we go. Take the clip off. Put that there. Get that out of the way. Alright, since we have the key, I don't want to mess anything up here, so I'm going to go ahead and relock this. Check. Yep, still moves with the key. And I'm just going to get a follower. Get that out of the way. I think that this is the one that works with this. Yep. Looks like that should be good. So we can go ahead and slide that in there. Make sure we got the pins up. And we got it. So you can see all of the pins. Make sure I get that in camera. Are lining up with the key there. Take the key out. Everything behaves as we would expect. All right, let's start dropping these out. And I will zoom in at the end. For right now, I just want to make sure I get them out here. So this is 1. My tweezers. That's 2. Looks like standard 3. And here's 4. And 5. Go from the other direction here, and there is 6. So yes, definitely looks like they are all standards. Go there. All right, and now let's get these out. Make sure I still have camera here. Yep. So I'll try to get a shot of that without blocking, but here. And 1 is a spool. 2 sprung out on us, but we saw where he went. There he is. 2 is a serrated. It's behaving. Let's get 3. 3 sprung on us also a little, but we kept him in there. And 3 is a spool, a shallow spool from the looks of it. And here's 4. And we popped 4 also. There it is. 4 is serrated. And now we're going to flip and go from the other direction. So this will be 6 that I'll take out next. There's 6. And 6 is a standard. And 5. Caught him. And 5 is another spool. So you can see here, except for 6, we've got security pins in every slot here. Just get these lined up real quick, and then I will zoom in so you can see that. Let's go ahead, and I don't believe there are any special springs in this. Let me see if I can get those to dump out. Yep, all the same standard springs. All right, so that is completely disassembled. Let me go ahead and just zoom in here so you can see the individual pins there. You can see we've got spools in 1, 3, and 5. And we've got serrateds in 2, 4, and a standard in 6. And that is the Paclock 90A disassembled. So let's go ahead and reassemble now. Get out of here, fly. And this will take me a little bit of time, so thank you for bearing with me so far. Did I get that in? I did not. Nope, missed that one too, so far. Sprung 3. I'm also trying to make sure I don't block the camera as I do this. A little tricky trying not to get my head in the way. 2 more springs. There's 5. And there is 6. Let's get our follower back in. Sorry, I should have kept that in frame, but there we go. All right. Nothing unusual, no milling or anything like that to any other parts here, at least not that I'm seeing. Nope. All right, so we're going to be starting at the back at this point, so this is going to be 6 going back in. Oops, no, I should be putting 5 in first. See, already forgetting what I'm doing. All right, and 5 is back in. And here is 6. Lost him. Divots. All right, and there is 6 back in place. So now we'll work our way from the back again. We'll start on 4. is 4. All right, 4 is back in. There is 3. Oop, lost 3. Three is back in place. Here's 2. And 2 is back in place. And here is 1. And 1 is back in. So, got those reloaded. Let's go ahead and reload here. Now we'll go ahead and just work from the front here. There's 1. If I can get a grip on it. And I couldn't. There's 1. And 2. And 3. Make sure I don't get this upside down. 3 was upside down, so let's get him in the right way. 3 is such a tiny little pin. Yep. Now we'll go the other direction. There we go, there's 3. And here is 4. Come on, get in there. There is 4. Here is 5. And lastly, 6. All right, before we go ahead and reassemble, let's check with the key, make sure everything looks like it's still functioning properly. And yeah, we got everything lining up the way we would want, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and get our setup back here. And we're just gonna slide back onto this. And we are back in place. Let's go ahead and relock it. That sounds good. And we are locked. Before we put the clip back on, let's check it with the key. And we behave as we would expect. Wonderful. Get this back out. Reinstall our clip. Make sure we get that tab lined up. I'm just going to do this by hand. Again, don't have a clip tool, but I think we got that all the way set. Let's check with the key again. And clip is set, and we are back in business. So again, relock. Now we just have the last little bit of reassembly. To drop the key. Oop, locks upside down. Drop the key back in place. Then we just have this retaining plate. And pin for hold. Come on. Back in line. And then all we have to do is reinstall this Allen screw, and we should be back in business. The screw, and good news, and the lock functions normally as expected. So, successfully reassembled. Again, this is iMuju with the Paclock 90A. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch.